So the question that we want to ask today is when do you upgrade um your system or your setup as far as like your appearance and the type of show that you put out? When do you make changes on your show? Um, and we're going to cover that, in my opinion, on that here in just a second. But it's to set the groundwork. I think it's important to understand basically what this channel is, what is the motif of this channel, like basically what I am, what I do, what we do here, and why this channel is just a little bit different than some of the other channels. And then we'll talk about why that question came up and what is the answer to that question, in my opinion. So basically, under the green screen is my attempt at basically just winging it in front of a camera and really not really caring as far as too much as far as how it goes, the end result, views, subscribers too much. I do appreciate all the times I get notification that says, new subscriber, and I do get most of those when you guys subscribe. It pops up on my phone that says you got, so and so subscribed. So it's always a good feeling. And ultimately, it would be pretty cool to turn this thing into something really big. I think that's all of our goal is to get that really big YouTube channel someday. But um, with us working on, and I say us meaning myself and my son, having another channel, which is called Submission Script, which is a UFC and MMA channel. Um, this channel is more of like a fun or practice kind of hangout. I would say this is more of like a chill hangout type of a channel or place. And that being said, if you guys want to throw me a comment down in the comment section, then it really helps out for not only the algorithm, but gives me something to do, somebody to talk to when I'm at lunch at work or whatever. But back to the channel and to the topic, which is when to upgrade. So again, let me preface by saying, basically at the beginning of this channel, we had essentially a green screen, a basic camera setup, CapCut software, which I was basically pirating at the time. I didn't pay for the subscription or whatever. I found a link that gave me all the goodies without having to pay for the subscription on it. And just a camera that's a GH6, not a not GX6 like I used to call it, but a GH6 that I'm actually borrowing from a friend. Technically, he said I could buy it off him for $500 if I felt like it. But anyways, technically I'm borrowing it as of right now. And I got some other lenses and stuff sitting over there in a camera case. But so that's basically how it started out. There was no light bars. There was no special lighting. I think I got a light system off of Amazon for like I think 65 or 70 bucks. And I didn't have the podcast mic. You can go back and check the stuff before. I think I spent $20 on a lav mic system. So that's where it started out. And the whole intention was to basically do the whole channel without any kind of preparation or any kind of production value. And then maybe over time, make some small adjustments and just kind of see how they go and how the whole experiment goes, basically. But at some point, probably about a month or two ago, yay for us as a family, we came into quite a decent little size of money. And I won't go into the details about it, but basically we got a decent little size of money that allowed me to make some serious upgrades. And then I started had to make some choices as far as what upgrades to do, because it's not just this channel that I have to concern myself about. It is a submission script channel, which is a more intentional channel. So what upgrades do I purchase, and how much money do I spend, and all that kind of stuff. And so to kind of list off a couple of the upgrades, and if you've seen the unboxing or the setup channel or setup episodes, then you'll know most of the stuff that we got going on. But basically, the obviously we have the podcast mics, so we got this one, and there's one over here floating as well. And then we got the light bars in the back, and what else do we get? Oh, Stream Deck. We got a Stream Deck. I do have an additional camera angle, 2 more camera angles. We don't use it a whole lot for this channel, but I use it for the submission script channel. And what else? Just some cords and some cables. Oh, and the PodTrack P4, which is what's running the audio right now. So nothing. I think we spent. Oh, also, obviously, I can't forget about the MacBook. I was running basically a POS Lenovo, which, no offense, if my wife is watching this, that's her computer, but it's not designed or meant for high production stuff. So we got the MacBook. I got permission from the wife to spend $1,800 on a MacBook, so that's good. So those are the basic upgrades that we put up, and then on top of that, in addition to that, there's been a lot of basically like software type of or setup types of upgrades that I've experimented with it and I've adjusted in. So one of those would be a lot of the settings actually in the MacBook itself. On a couple of the episodes, I'd actually have to go into CapCut and do like the AI up resolution because my settings weren't right on the MacBook. But over the last, I'd say, week or two, I've really gotten the chance to mess with the MacBook settings and figure out which codecs and basically recording settings are optimum for getting the highest quality picture. And also a couple of settings like the ISO and the aperture and stuff like that on the camera, I've played around with and adjusted. You'll notice that the screen is a little bit darker here compared to previous episodes, just because I'm trying to get the noise out of the picture. And so I stepped down the ISO. I think, to be honest, the ISO was set at like, I think it was a residual from being on auto setting, but when I put it on manual, it never clicked it back down. But it was like a 3200 ISO, and if you know about ISO, that's insane. But it really started showing up whenever I started getting some of the lights and changing the lights around where I could get more dark pockets and more contrast, because in the contrast, that's where you see a lot of the static showing up. So it really didn't look good when I tried to upload it. So one of the things I did was to crank the ISO down. I think it's sitting at like 400 right now. And the solution to that, and you guys probably know this or perhaps you don't, but basically the solution to get the noise out while keeping a low ISO is basically just to pump a lot of light into the area. So I've got this light over here. It's obviously you can't see it, but that thing is basically almost right up close to me, and that's barely making it happen. So side note, I am probably going to go ahead and upgrade to the Godox or the Aperture Amaran series lights, key lights here before too long. But anyways, so that's where we were at, and we got the settings correct. I'm trying to remember where I was talking, but basically we got the settings correct, and I've also set the presentation desk or the table desk a little bit further off the background so we can kind of pick up that blurry background a little bit more. That's been done in the last couple of days or so. So you'll notice that it's a little bit different from last time. Now, on to the ultimate question, because that's what the title and the thumbnail and all that and the opening were all about. When do you do the upgrade? And the way this came about was basically about 3 or 4 days ago, I was really wanting to make another step up in the production quality of the whole setup. And so I went ahead and, like, on a whim, told my wife I was going to Lowe's. And again, I still don't understand it, but basically she said, yeah, go for it. But, anyway, so I went to Lowe's, picked up about $150 worth of stuff to build a backdrop. And I have got that thing built. And I guess I'll go ahead and just show you real quick. See what it looks like. So pretty cool little backdrop. It took me about, I'd say, 2 hours to put it up. It's not bad. But then the question became, once I had the backdrop up, do I want to keep that up for the Under the Green Screen channel? Because the problem that I saw with doing that was that as I started to get more of a professional look and feel, then I got to change my delivery. It's like I have to step up my own personal presentation to match, like, basically my studio. How can I give the raw delivery, unfiltered, smoke a cigarette and not give a shit? if I have a professional studio. And so the ultimate decision ended up being to go ahead and put back up the green screen and just roll with that, at least for now, because that fits with what we're doing here. But how does that apply to everybody, and why did I make that decision ultimately? I think the answer to that is to you have to understand what your motif is. What is the thing that makes your channel unique and special that everyone comes to your channel to visit your channel or whatever. And you have to kind of take stock on your channel and see if a specific upgrade will change that. And basically the answer is, if the upgrade, so to speak, or the change that you're planning on making will change what makes you special, your channel special or unique, even if it is considered an upgrade by most conventional standards, then probably it's not a good idea to make that change. Think of something else, a different stylistic approach, if that specific upgrade is going to drastically change what your channel is. So again, that's the quick answer, but ultimately you have to take stock in who you are, what your channel is, and whether that upgrade is going to change who you are and change who your channel is and what your viewers expect, or can you continue having the heart and soul of, or the je ne sais quoi of what your channel is, and just be a little bit nicer. So that's why we allow the light bars, because it's a little bit flashier, but we're still in front of a green screen. Now, when it's all said and done, eventually we will make those changes. We'll make those adjustments to like a fancier set, and run the stained wood backdrop, and do a bunch of other cool stuff. But as of right now, we're going to keep it low key, and keep it like we don't really care too much and worry too much. But I guess that's it. And just whenever you start making adjustments on your channel, stop and think of whether this adjustment is going to, even though it's more expensive or fancy, is it going to keep your audience, or is it going to turn away your audience? I guess that's it for this one, and we will check you back on the next one.